Good evening, friends, and welcome to Rouse Raider Baseball. We're live in Mumford, Texas, on the campus of Mumford High School, where we are set to take on the Spartans from Porter, Texas. Porter out of the New Caney ISD, and their player intros are going right now, so we'll go right along with them. Leading off for the Spartans will be number 13, Brian Westenberg. He will be at short. Number 15, Max Diaz, will be in left field and batting second. Batting third, number 17, Zane Russell. He will be the starting pitcher for the Spartans tonight. Number 7, Jace Russell, will be at first base and batting fourth. Batting fifth, number 5, Shane Sherlock. He will be behind the plate for the Spartans tonight. Number 16, Colby Christian, will be the designated hitter. He will be hitting for number 9, Colton Atkinson, the second baseman. Batting seventh, number 14, Jake Tatum at third base. Number 3, Aiden Hurd, will be batting eighth and in right field. Number 2, Connor Westenberg, will be in center field and rounding out the order for the Spartans tonight. So, a beautiful day for baseball. I have Captain David England alongside tonight and the great one, Rob Hipp, running the camera tonight. Nathan Height helping to produce and get the program going. So SHN in full force tonight. Scott Mount is going to take the night off and sit with his wife and watch Rouse and just relax. And we're going to bring you Rouse Raider Baseball tonight. Good to have you, David.
Michael, it's great to be here on a beautiful evening here in Hearn. I'll give you the weather forecast if you like. It's currently 80 degrees, mostly sunny, and it's winds are east at 5 miles an hour, and the humidity's 47. So we're in the Brazos Valley. There's not a lot of wind, and it's beautiful. The whole field is turf, so just great conditions tonight for a playoff game, round 3.
It is a beautiful day. It's round two. This is the area round, and Rouse and Porter kind of behind the 8 ball. Most of the state finished up their area rounds over the weekend, and Rouse and Porter not finding a place to be able to play until tonight, and so they're playing at the first part of the week, which presents a different story for who their opponent will be Georgetown. Whoever wins this game will be playing Georgetown. And depending on when that starts, that affects the pitching tonight. So both clubs have to work in, all right, how far do I want to pitch my ace tonight and when he will be available. If it's a Thursday game start, you're only looking at 2 or 3 days of rest, and you got to have, I think, a minimum of 4 days rest between starts, depending on the number of pitches that you pitch. You're allowed a certain number of pitches in a week.
Depending on the coin toss for Georgetown, the winner of this game, they may have to. Who knows what they're going to do if they play Tuesday night, if they play a Friday-Saturday series. It could be a short week for either Rouse or New Caney. But you've got to think that it's difficult for them coming here, like you said, on a Monday, and then they could turn right back around, possibly have to play tomorrow night.
That's kind of the worst of all scenarios, right there for either one of these clubs. Raiders are being introduced, and so we'll introduce the lineups as well. Leading off for the Raiders will be number 55. Dalton Porter in right field. He will be followed by the starting pitcher for the Raiders tonight, number 23, Jared Suttard. Batting third, the shortstop, number 22, Connor Bennett. Batting fourth will be number 26, Lance Little at first base. Batting fifth will be the catcher, number 34, Fisher Kingsbury. Batting sixth will be the center fielder, or the second baseman, number 1, Dylan Lewis. Number 6, Jay Kalepa, will be batting seventh and in center field. Batting eighth will be Hayden Asbury, and he will be the designated hitter. He will be hitting for number 3, Matt Garcia at third base. Rounding out the order will be number 8, Ryan Galloway in left field. And that will be your Rouse Raider starting lineup tonight. Spartans in their black tops, gray pants, black stirrups, white socks, black caps. Rouse Raiders in their white uniforms with gold numbering and lettering bordered in maroon. White pants with black pinstripes. Raiders are coached by head coach Chad Krempine. He's assisted by Josh Harris, Dan LaPaglia, and Spencer Richards. The Spartans are coached by, give me just 1 second, I'll pull that information up. Head coach Wayne Ralph, he's assisted by Matt Baca and John Sims. Porter defeated the A&M Consolidated in 2 games, 8-3 and 3-2 respectively, to win the bi-district round. They're ranked 18th. Raiders come into this week in the top 10. They break the top 10 for the first time ever, and they are ranked number 9. And we'll take a moment for the national anthem, and we'll be right back with you. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. Well, it's baseball. It's baseball time in Texas. I guess it'd help if I get my mic down in front. So it looks like the line standoff is taking place as Raiders are defending the first base line and Porter is defending the third base line, and
I've never seen
neither
that
team
before.
wanting to break, and Porter breaks. Don't know what you win by that, but there you go.
No bragging rights.
Bragging rights of being the most stubborn.
You know, Michael, looking around this facility, there's a softball field back over to our right shoulder, and this is all a covered stadium. And from what I'm hearing, it just out here in the middle of Brazos Valley, it's just perfect weather tonight. The lights are already on the stadium. Beautiful green outfield fence out there. Mumford School, home of the Mustangs.
Well, I tell you what, while we're waiting, well, we may wait. We have some UIL obligated spots that we have to play tonight. We'll get those in throughout the progress of the game. The beautiful venue. We played here a couple years ago and beat Waller for bi-district championship. A beautiful venue. It's secluded out here, kind of in the middle of nowhere.
It is in the middle of it's not too far away from Bryan. It's kind of between Bryan and Hearn, Texas, for those folks that aren't familiar with Mumford, Texas. And it is all farmland and literally the Brazos Valley. There's not a hill in sight. You got railroad tracks paralleling us out there, so it'll sound like the Round Rock Express a little bit tonight.
Dalton Porter will step in from the left side. Zane Russell on the hill for the Spartans as we get things started. We're sweetly situated right here behind home plate. The wind and the delivery, a fastball down low for ball one. 1-0 the count to Porter. Seth Sherlock behind the plate. Jace Russell at first base. Pitch misses high and outside for ball 2. 2-0 the count. Colton Atkinson at second base. Brian Westenberg at short. This pitch cut on and fouled back out of play for strike 1. 2 balls, 1 strike to Dalton Porter. Dalton Porter, a junior, committed to the University of Texas. Russell winds and delivers. Fastball up high for ball 3. 3-1 the count to Porter. Jared Southard on deck for the Raiders. The 3-1 pitch and misses for ball 4. And I tell you what, David, that pitch looked good right there.
It did look pretty good. Just maybe it was just a tad high, but it did look right there in the strike zone. But we'll take it.
Number 23, Jared Southard, will dig in from the right side. Russell, tall right-handed pitcher for the Spartans. 1 on with no outs here in the top of the first. Pitch misses high for ball 1, and Russell may be a little uncomfortable pitching off the mound here early in the game, but, you know, it's playoff jitters. These guys haven't played in over a week.
That's the only dirt on the field tonight, and they sprinkled it down just a little bit before the game.
The 1-0 delivery, that is fouled off, back out of play off the first base side. The count evens up at 1-1.
They've even got sound effects out here.
Jake Tatum at third base, Max Diaz in left, Connor Westenberg in center, and Aiden Hurd in right field. That will give you the defense for the Spartans. A throw over to first, just kind of a lob, not really intending to pick him off, just to keep him honest.
Michael, tell me about the base running. Are they good at running bases at Rouse?
They're pretty aggressive. I don't know that they're as aggressive as Georgetown, but they're pretty aggressive. The 1 ball, 1 strike pitch in for strike 2 call. Southard falls behind 1-2. Connor Bennett on deck for the Raiders. Russell from the stretch. The pitch, this is fouled back out of play. And Southard stays alive. Another pitch that was up out of the zone, and Southard chases it and manages to foul it off.
Umpire's patting his saddlebags, asking for a couple more baseballs here already.
The 1-2 pitch, this is cut on and hit out to deep left. This could be trouble. It's going over the fence and gets to the fence, and Diaz over and makes the catch. And that will do it for Southard. 1 away.
Base runner was able to get back to first base, and still got that base runner on.
Connor Bennett comes to the plate. He'll dig in from the right side. Lance Little on deck for the Raiders. Russell picks up the sign. Pitch down and away for ball 1. Working that fastball on the first pitch. Jace Russell over at first. I believe those two are brothers. The 1-0, a cover swing.
Foul tip off.
A foul tip off of Seth Sherlock's finger.
They got that catcher's right hand, looks like.
And so I'm just curious if they're going to call catcher's interference for that, since it hit his finger on the swing.
I heard a tip.
That might have been his finger.
It could have been. You know, I get to give a shout out to Rob. He is doing great camera work tonight.
Rob Hipp on the camera. Usually he's the golden tones on the mic.
We'll turn him up there.
So they call it a foul ball. So that'll be a strike to Connor Bennett. That will even the count up 1-1.
We'll turn up Rob's volume a little bit there.
Yeah, well, I'm guys, no David England out here, but having fun tonight. Appreciate everybody joining us here. Hey, if you're on that YouTube screen, make sure to hit that subscribe button also. Michael Francis has done an excellent job all season long for the Rouse Raiders, and Michael, as we always do on SHN, we want to welcome in those fans from Porter that may be watching as well. So thanks for joining us this afternoon.
Absolutely. Wanted to make mention of that, and thank you, Rob, for doing that. Welcome the Porter fans. So Sherlock getting his throws back to Russell, and he's good to go.
You suppose that was his glove hand?
No, it was his throwing hand. He's still shaking it. So I'm sure that's smart. So a little reminiscent of the Dell Diamond here somewhat, because you have the railroad tracks and the trains going by as the game plays, so you'll hear trains from time to time. Russell picks up the sign. He gives a look over to first. He'll throw over. Porter dives back in safely. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 runner on. We're scoreless here in the top of the first here in Mumford, Texas. Rouse is the visiting squad tonight. The winner of this game will face the Georgetown Eagles sometime during the week. The details have yet to be worked out. Swing and a miss from Connor Bennett for strike 2. That was going to be a strike either way. There was no question about that. Ant Kindlin, you need to pull that baseball out that I've heard of, and I haven't seen the picture of it. That pitch cut on and fouled off. And Bennett stays alive. So Scott Mount and I have been kind of talking about Aunt Kindlin is Dalton Porter's aunt, and telling her she needs to do some voodoo, and she's got a voodoo baseball. Pitch popped up and fouled back out of play. Porter will trot back to first.
Michael, we have about 40 listeners, viewers on our stream right now. If you'd like to chime in, start up a chat. We've got live chat on our stream.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Connor Bennett. The throw over to first. Not in time. They're not really trying to get him. They're just trying to keep him honest. Keep him at the bag. No hard throws over. Pitch from Russell. This is fouled back out of play, and Bennett is turning this into a quality at bat.
He's battling. He's fighting.
Anytime you can take a pitcher deep into his pitches, not necessarily into count, because he's fouling them off, so it tends to work towards your favor, so it becomes what's called a quality at bat. Sherlock sets up outside. Pitch, this is cut on and popped up out to right center. Connor Westenberg over, makes the grab, and that'll retire Bennett for out number 2. Two away for Lance Little as he comes to the plate.
He's got that blonde hair.
Little will be another one of those returning varsity players next season.
His hair literally matches the numbers on his jersey.
It pretty much
It's gold.
It pretty much does. It's gold. Russell from the stretch. The pitch to Little. This is fouled back for strike 1.
That base runner got a good jump. You saw him going for the swing, and he took off.
Hit and run was on, and Dalton Porter does have pretty good wheels. Fisher Kingsbury on deck for the Raiders. Little gets situated in the box. Porter extends his lead at first. The pitch from Russell. That's high for ball 1. That'll even the count up, 1-1. It's good to have, and we're kind of in for a treat. The video quality is much better than the camera that we usually have, and Rob bringing out the big guns and bringing the nice camera. Porter off towards second base, and he will not be in time. And he is picked off, caught stealing for out number 3. That'll do it for the Raiders in the first.
Speaking of
no runs, no hits, nobody left on. After one half, it's scoreless here in Mumford. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports.
The University Interscholastic League would like to thank its corporate sponsors. Without the generous support of these sponsors, many UIL activities would not be possible. The UIL gives special thanks to Balfour, Baylor Scott & White, Dairy Max, Dairy Queen, Ford, Fox Sports Southwest, Gatorade, Hellas Construction, Max Preps, the NFHS Network, Nike, Register My Athlete, Spalding, and Texas Farm Bureau Insurance. These generous corporate sponsors support the UIL in all its activities, music, academics, and athletics. The UIL appreciates these sponsors and their participation in all that the UIL does in Texas extracurricular activities. On behalf of the UIL and its corporate sponsors, thank you for supporting UIL activities in your community and enjoy the game.
Jared Southard getting his warm-ups in as we get things underway here in the bottom half of the first. Defensively for the Raiders, Southard will be on the mound. Kingsbury behind the plate. Little at first. Lewis at second. Bennett at short. Garcia at third. Galloway in left. Alepa in center. And Porter in right.
Now batting for Porter, number 13, Brian Westenberg.
Leading off for the Spartans will be number 13, Brian Westenberg. Westenberg, the shortstop for the Spartans. He will dig in from the left side and face Southard for the first time. That pitch misses outside for ball one. So it'll be interesting to see how Southern does here in the first. Yeah, there you go. You can't argue that. That's a fastball right down the middle.
You can definitely tell off that glove of the catcher there.
Jared Southard
heat.
will be playing his college ball at the University of Texas next year. The 1-1 pitch inside. Southard backs him off the plate for ball two. 2 balls, 1 strike to Brian Westenberg. Takes inside for ball three. The pitcher's got to work off the rust of not having pitched in over a week.
Yeah, the delay and weather delays and all that. He's out of.
It's affected practice and everything else. The 3-1 delivery, that misses outside for ball four, and just like Porter did in the top half, the leadoff gets on board with a walk. Number 15, Max Diaz, comes to the plate for the Spartans. Diaz, the left fielder. Southard from the stretch. The delivery gets the outside corner for strike one.
Yeah, Max.
Working that fastball in. Southern checks Westenberg at first. He comes set. Delivery. Wow. Not sure where that one missed. That was a better looking pitch than the first one.
It was.
Ball two. 2 balls, 1 strike to Max Diaz. The 2-1 delivery. Not sure, did he swing?
Come on, Max.
Yes, he did. He went around. I have a 2-2 count. What do you have, 1-2?
Come on, Max, shake it off.
The 1-2 from Southern misses down and away for ball two. That'll even the count up 2-2. Westenberg at first gets his lead. Southern looks over. The 2-2 pitch, that's fouled off, and Diaz stays alive.
Come on, Max, stay focused. You got this.
Southern pitching from the first base side of the rubber. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Diaz. Runner on, throw over to first. Not in time as Westenberg dives back in.
The pitcher said, hold on just a second before the first baseman threw it back to him. He's got the sun right in his face between himself and first base.
And the sun's in the west, and so it's really affecting the pitcher looking over to first, the shortstop, third baseman, and left fielder.
You can see the shadow in your video.
The 2-2 pitch. Caught him looking for strike 3 for out number 1, and that will retire Diaz. Number 17, Zane Russell, the pitcher, comes to the plate. He will dig in from the right side. Southern from the stretch.
Ooh.
Pitch, swing and a miss.
Wow.
Fastball, and Russell chases that one.
Yes, sir.
That was way up out of the zone. 0-1, the count to Russell. 1 on, runner at first. We're scoreless here in the bottom of the first. The 0-1, in for strike 2 call.
Really doing some good work now. Several solid pitches from Rouse.
0-2, the count to Russell. The 0-2 pitch. Exactly where you'd want to put it, on the outside part of the plate for ball 1. See if he would chase. You surely don't want to put it in his wheelhouse for an 0-2 count.
No, sir.
1 ball, 2 strikes. A throw over to first. Not in time as Westenberg dives back in safely. Southern walks midway to first and asks Little to lob it to him. It's, as Doppler Dave mentioned just a second ago.
Yeah, you can see the shadow behind Rob
Yeah,
there.
the long shadows but right there along Coach Crimpine.
Yes, sir.
The 1-2 misses down and away for ball 2, and the count evens. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Zane Russell. Southern picks up the sign from Kingsbury, checks Westenberg at first. He comes set. Pitch, fastball, blows by him for strike 3. And that will do it for Russell.
I'm glad that catcher caught that one because it was coming right at us fast. It's a fire behind it.
2 away. Southern throws in the mid to upper 90s. Number 7, Jace Russell, comes to the plate, fouls this one off for strike 1. You know, the sad thing is you don't get a lot of stats and stuff with these high school players, so, and a lot of coaches like to keep them under their vest so they don't get these stats broadcast for opponents that may be listening. Russell takes for ball 1.
Up high and inside, the batter had to move his head back just a bit on that last one.
Well, Southern threw a curveball and then just stayed up.
Yeah.
Didn't really have a whole lot of break to it. The 1-1 delivery. That's a curveball. It's chopped on. Lewis chasing this. Could be trouble. The lob over to first is in time. What an outstanding play by Dylan Lewis. Oh, my goodness. He had to come up on that slow rolling hit from off the bat of Jace Russell and lobs it over, glove hand to Lance Little to get the out.
Pretty slick.
That was pretty heads up play by Dylan Lewis. 4-3 on the putout, and that will do it for the Spartans in the first. No runs on no hits. They strand one. On to the second we go. We're scoreless here in Mumford.
Pretty even. Both ball clubs did just about the same thing. Left a man stranded, and pitching did work.
We're going to take just a moment to play another one of our obligated spots, and we'll be right back with you. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports.
So why do teenagers play high school sports?
My reason why is a sense of purpose.
My reason why is to inspire others.
One reason student athletes seldom mention is to get an athletic scholarship. They know that only 2% of all high school athletes are awarded a sports scholarship. So why do they play?
My reason why is friendship.
Tell us your reason using the hashtag #MyReasonWhy.
This message presented by the NFHS and the Texas University Interscholastic League.
So
Zane Russell back out on the hill to pitch the second for the Spartans. Got a pretty good turnout considering that it's a Monday night, the start of the week, so it becomes difficult for a lot of people to make the trip.
A nice even
down here.
Trip between the two school districts.
Lance Little will get to start his at bat all over again as Porter was caught stealing to end the top half, or the top half of the first. Fisher Kingsbury on deck. Russell from the windup. Little takes for strike one. Fastball gets the inside corner of the plate. The 0-1 pitch. That's down and away for ball one. The count evens. So now we got the first inning jitters over, and so everybody can settle in and play a good game here this afternoon. That was a good pitch off the hand of Zane Russell. It misses outside, but it could have been called either way. The 2-1 delivery, that gets by Sherlock, and that'll be a wild pitch. Three balls, one strike to Little. Russell from the windup, the 3-1 pitch. It's in for a called strike. Little showed bunt, laid off, and takes for strike two, and the count goes full.
One of those high pitches again. Trying to figure out this umpire's strike zone.
The payoff pitch, that's fouled off, and Little stays alive. That's a fastball right down the middle. It's right in his wheelhouse. Porter playing Rouse at a respectable depth in the outfield. The 3-2 pitch had his popped up. Foul. Not sure where it went. I lost sight of it. Russell winds the 3-2. It's fouled off as Little just gets the end of his bat on it. Stays alive and extends his at bat. It's like Connor Bennett, he's starting to turn it into a quality at bat.
Yeah.
Gone deep into counts here. The 3-2. This is hit up the middle. Shortstop has it. The throw over will be in time. That's Westenberg to Russell for the out. That'll go 6-3.
Number 34, Fisher Kingsbury.
On the put out, one away for the catcher, Fisher Kingsbury. Dylan Lewis on deck for the Raiders. Russell delivers right down the middle for strike one. Well, no arguing that one, David.
No, sir. It had a little curve on it, but it was in there.
The 0-1 delivery. That's chopped on and hit over his second. Atkinson has it. Throws over to Russell. And that'll do it for Kingsbury. Two away for Dylan Lewis. Russell looks like he's settled in here in the top of the second. We're scoreless here in Mumford. Jake Alepa on deck. Russell picks up the sign from Sherlock. Pitch inside for a called strike. I'll tell you what, it's trying to figure his strike zone out. It's kind of large at times, and other times it's small.
Yeah.
The 0-1 delivery. This is chopped on and hit down the third base side and goes foul. Jake Tatum plays it and throws it back in. Other than Jared Southard's fly ball out to left earlier, Rouse not getting big hits. They're getting little choppers in the infield. 0-2 the count to Lewis. The pitch. Caught looking. Well, the fastball right at the bottom of the zone. And that will do it for the Raiders. They go in order in the second. No runs, no hits, nobody left on. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. We'll be right back in just one moment. Don't miss the UIL Baseball State Tournament June 5th through the 8th. For more information, visit uiltexas.org.
Question. When you walk into the boardrooms of the most successful companies here in Texas, who do you meet? Answer. Men and women who played high school sports. Education-based high school sports give us more than athletes we can root for. They give us leaders we can depend on. Question. So where will we find tomorrow's leaders? Answer. High school sports.
This message presented by the Texas University Interscholastic League and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
Southard back out on the hill to pitch the second. We're scoreless here in Mumford. Due up for the Spartans in the second. Sherlock, Christian, and Tatum.
Number 5, Seth Sherlock.
Seth Sherlock will get things started here in the second. He's the catcher for the Spartans. Southard picks up the sign and he delivers from the windup a fastball that he just blows by Seth Sherlock. A lot of times you get a young man like this that kids aren't used to seeing this next level type pitcher.
Where's he committed?
Texas. 1-1 the count to Sherlock. Jake Tatum on deck. I say Tatum. Christian is on deck. Pitch misses outside for ball 2. The 2-1 taken for strike 2. Colby Christian on deck. He's a designated hitter. The 2-2 pitch from Southard. Woo, my goodness. High and inside. You talk about chin music.
Shaving cream there. Full count.
Count goes full to Seth Sherlock. The payoff pitch from Southard. Curveball cut on and missed. Kingsbury will lob it over to Little at first, and that will retire Sherlock to complete the strikeout.
Now batting number 16, Colby Christian.
One away with nobody on for Colby Christian. He's a designated hitter for the Spartans. He's hitting for the second baseman, Colton Atkinson. He takes for strike 1 a curveball off the hand of Jared Southard. The 0-1 delivery, a fastball. Wow. Wow.
Seemed kind of a little low. Maybe it hit that corner, just not right.
The 1-1 That's outside for ball 2.
The catcher's doing a really good job of trying to, catch that corner and pop that glove back in.
2 balls, 1 strike to Colby Christian. He fouls this one off for strike 2, and that'll even the count. Number 14, Jake Tatum, on deck for the Spartans. The 2-2 delivery. There's a curveball. This is hit out to left. This will draw up in for a base hit. And the first hit of the game will go to the Spartans.
Now batting number 14, Jake Tatum.
1 on with 1 out for Jake Tatum. Tatum batting 7th in the order. Tatum, the third baseman for the Spartans. Southern from the stretch. Tatum shows bunt and fouls this one off for strike 1.
The speed that he's pitching, you might need to be careful and bring in your infield a little bit, because if the New Caney isn't able to hit like other teams are, then just the speed alone, it's going to pop it right over the infield.
Throw over to first, not in time, as Christian dives back in safely. Aiden Hurd on deck. The 0-1, fastball. Swung on and missed for strike 2. Nothing in 2. The count to Tatum. Christian extends his lead. Pitch. Misses outside. Southern really thought that was a strike himself. The 1-2, that gets him. Southern throws it inside, and that'll put 2 on. Runners at first and second.
Now batting number 3, Aiden Hurd.
Runners at first and second with 1 out for Aiden Hurd. Hurd batting 8th in the order. So you really don't want to get to the top of the order with men on base.
So the fine folks here at Mumford ISD were very hospitable to us, just really nice. And and Coach Grimpine, they let us set up over there by their dugout. Just a beautiful angle tonight for the ball game. We're not having to be behind this net. And, got a really good view tonight of this game for those folks listening in on the YouTube stream.
Southern checks Christian at second, delivers a curveball in for a called strike. Hurd takes. Nothing like being at Round Rock Express Part 2. Hurd takes for strike 2, a fastball on the outside corner.
You've even got the RR.
Right. The 0-2, that's chopped on. That's hit back over to second. That runner's going to be out. And he's just collided with Dylan Lewis on the fielder's choice. So Jake Tatum will be out. And they're going to, I believe they're going to make Christian go back to second. Well, I'll tell you what, David, the mosquitoes are coming out in force.
Yes, sir. With all the rain we've had, One of the Mumford employees said, "Hope you brought your bug spray."
That's going to be runner's interference.
Coming out here tonight, we saw all these farm fields. A lot of them had corn grown in them, but there's just water standing everywhere out here.
Oh, yeah, there really is. A lot of corn that has gone bad just because it's saturated. Aiden Hurd with the fielder's choice at first base. The runners at first and second for Connor Westenberg, the center fielder. He'll take for ball one. Tell you what, I really didn't think about bringing any
I didn't either,
bug
honestly.
repellent.
You know, the flags aren't moving now, so the wind is pretty much all but died down.
1-0, a swing and a miss from Westenberg for strike one. That'll even the count up. Ant Kindling, we really need your help.
Yeah. Focus on this out and get us out of this inning.
The 1-1 strike pitch. And for Sutter, he'll spin around and look Christian back to second.
I'd have to say I believe there's more folks from Rouse here tonight in the stands.
It's a tough go to try to get through the Houston area. Pitch fouled off and back out of play for strike two.
Landed in the softball field.
So I got to visit with the Mumford coach before the game, and these people are just really, as you mentioned earlier, very hospitable.
Oh, yeah. You're out in the country.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Westenberg. The 1-2 pitch, that's high for ball two. Deuce is wild to Westenberg. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs with 2 on. Sutter comes set. Fastball cut on and missed for strike 3, and that will do it. No runs on 1 hit, 2 left on. After 2 complete, we're still scoreless here in Mumford. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports.
Fifth through the 8th. For more information, visit uiltexas.org. Don't miss the UIL Baseball State Tournament June 5th through the 8th. For more information, visit uiltexas.org.
Question. When you walk into the boardrooms of the most successful companies here in Texas, who do you meet? Answer. Men and women who played high school sports. Education-based high school sports give us more than athletes we can root for. They give us leaders we can depend on. Question. So where will we find tomorrow's leaders? Answer. High school sports.
This message presented by the Texas University Interscholastic League and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
Yeah, that's a beautiful shot from Rob Hipp, catching the western sun starting to set in the sky. Lights are on here in Mumford, and the sun no longer playing a factor in the eyes of the defense.
I was working at the fire station last night, and I saw some lightning bugs out behind the fire station. You know, you used to see those when you were a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we'll see some tonight.
Had a mayonnaise jar, and you poked holes in the top with an ice pick.
Run around and catch them.
Yeah, run around and catch them. Jake Aleppa leading off the third for the Raiders. He takes for ball one, a fastball in the dirt. Both these ball clubs, with respect to their records, fairly evenly matched. Porter comes into today 24-7 overall. They went 13-3 in district and finished in second. They're out of District 25A. One-0 count to Jake Alepa. Zane Russell on the hill for the Spartans. He winds and delivers. Alepa shows bunt and ends up taking for strike one. That'll even the count up at 1. Hayden Asbury on deck for the Raiders. The 1-1 delivery. That gets the outside corner for strike 2. One and 2 the count to Alepa. Russell winds. The 1-2 delivery. That's low for ball 2. 2 and 2 the count to Jake Alepa. Alepa playing center field for the Raiders tonight. 2-2 is in the dirt for ball 3, and Alepa works the count full. Raiders showing a lot of discipline at the plate. 3-2 high and outside for ball 4.
That's just how you want to start that inning right there. Get a young man on base and let's see what we can do with this. You know, New Caney had a little bit more success that last inning, getting 2 guys on base, and let's see if we can do the same thing right here.
Hayden Asbury will dig in from the right side for the Raiders. 1 on with no outs here in the top of the 3rd. Zane Russell on the mound. Asbury bunts this one and pops it up, and that is one of those things that will frustrate a coach at every turn, is putting a bunt in the air.
Now batting number 8, Ryan Galloway.
Number 8, Ryan Galloway. The left fielder digs in. He takes for a strike. Russell paints the outside corner. Raiders get the leadoff aboard for the second time this evening on a walk. Throw over to first, not in time, and that time Russell with intention to pick him off, as you saw the difference between the zip that he threw to first from when he was doing it to Dalton Porter back in the first inning. Russell from the stretch, again a throw over to first.
We had some listeners on the stream wondering where we're at tonight. We're in Mumford, Texas, which is between Bryan, Texas and Hearn, Texas.
The 0-1 delivery misses low and outside for ball 1.
This beautiful facility, I believe it's a 2A school, Mumford Mustangs, and it's right in the heart of Brazos Valley.
Surrounded by cornfields and railroad tracks.
Yes, sir. It's a lot of farmland.
Dalton Porter on deck, a swing and a miss from Ryan Galloway for strike 2. One and 2 the count to Galloway. Throw over to first will not be in time as Alepa gets back in safely. Been a pitcher's duel for the most part. Coach Yacht listening in. Let's go Raiders. Alepa picks up a stolen base. Yeah, good boy. I love baseball. Sean Brzezinski, I love baseball. All right, guys, thank you for listening in. Carl Schoening listening in.
Wow, that pitch was way upstairs, Michael. That was fascinating.
I missed it. Did he get caught looking? Was it a called strike or did he swing?
It looked like a called strike. I'm not sure. Yeah, I know that ball came in there really high.
2 away for Dalton Porter. 1 on, a runner is second. Russell takes a look at Alepis. Big swing and a miss from Dalton Porter. He definitely was swinging for the fences. Porter 0 for 0 with a walk. And caught stealing later in the inning. He takes for a strike, and that's the pitch you want right there. 0-2, and Porter in a quick 0-2 count. Zane Russell working ahead as we're back to the top of the order. Porter calls time and steps back out. Porter takes the full length of the batter's box. Russell checks Alepa at second. From the stretch, and Porter calls time again as Russell taking an extended amount of time.
Yeah, it's a little chess match back and forth right now. You really want to get another opportunity here to get things going.
The 0-2 in the dirt.
Good eye.
For ball 1. Aunt Kendallin, get the checkbook out. We need to give Dalton some incentive. The 1-2. This is cut on. This is popped up out into center field. Westenberg over, calls it, makes the catch, and that will do it for the Raiders in the third. No runs, no hits. 1 left on. After 2.5, we're still scoreless here in Mumford. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports.
Now batting reporter number 13, Brian Westenberg.
Back to the top of the order. Brian Westenberg, he's 0 for 0. He drew a walk back in the first. Faced Southard for the second time. He fouls this one off for strike 1. Rob Hipp running the camera tonight, doing a fantastic job. The 0-1, a fastball on the outside corner for strike 2. 0-2, now the count to Brian Westenberg. The 0-2 delivery, that's cut on and fouled back out of play, and he chased after that one, David. That one was about a foot out of the zone. That was about shoulder level. Maybe chin level.
Yeah.
The 0-2 delivery, it's inside for ball 1.
It's interesting, that same pitch, the batter standing on the other side probably would have been a strike.
1-2 the count to Westenberg. Southern winds and delivers a fastball. This is hit back up the middle. Lewis has it. Throw over to first in time, and that will do it for Brian Westenberg. 4-3 on the putout, and that will bring up number 15, Max Diaz, the left fielder. Diaz caught and looking. He's 0 for 1. as he will face Southern for the second time tonight. Diaz digs in from the right side. He takes for ball one. The 1-0 delivery gets the outside corner for strike one. That'll even the count up. One ball, one strike to Diaz. This pitch is cut on and fouled back out of play, and he crushes that thing foul.
Yeah, he's got some power.
1-2 the count to Diaz. Southern picks up the sign from Kingsbury. The 1-2 delivery, a swing and a miss. And Diaz is retired on strikeouts for the second time tonight.
Number 17, Zane Russell.
That will bring up Zane Russell. Russell also a strikeout victim back in the first. Coach Crampine calls time, and that's going to do it for Jared Southard. Southard up to his pitch limit as far as Coach Crampine wanted to take him. He has to be prepared to play Georgetown later in the week, and whether that means a tomorrow start, which typically you don't hear of Tuesday night games. Usually they're Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or they flip for one game.
Yeah. I'm wondering if they'll, you never know what the coaches are going to want to do. If it's going to be if they're going to force them, whoever the winner is tonight, to play on Tuesday night and Friday, or they go with that Friday, Saturday series. I would expect, after talking to Rob earlier about possibly they would have a series instead of just a one game.
Well, whichever team has to face Georgetown, and hopefully it's Rouse, as we follow Rouse and call it. They have a tall order with Georgetown.
Yeah. Georgetown's doing really well this year. Number one in the state. I think they're 34-2-1 overall. Went through district. 12-0, outscored district, I believe, 98-6. I think they've got about 15 seniors on the Georgetown team. Rob doing a little video adjusting over there. Coach Crimpine was having fun video bombing. He didn't know it, but
photo bombing. Let's see if
doing some adjusting over
there.
See
if he moves down the line with Rob. Leading off. Or actually not leading off, after the pitching change, Connor Bennett comes on in relief of Jared Southard.
And 2 outs.
Southard goes 2 2/3 innings. Gives up 1 hit, no runs.
It looked like a changeup.
And gets 4 strikeouts. The 0-1, it misses down and away for ball one. That'll even the count up. The 1-1 pitch. Fastball down the middle for strike 2. Connor Bennett has a great fastball and an even greater curveball.
Oh, goodness.
Strikeout swinging, and Kingsbury to Little to complete the strikeout. And for the first time tonight, Porter goes down in order. No runs, no hits, nobody left on. After 3 complete, we're scoreless here in Mumford in what is now become a combined pitching duel. On to the 4th we go here in Mumford. Rob, what's the perspective from your vantage point over there?
Hey, Michael, a beautiful night out here. You know, it's kind of fun because I'm normally on play-by-play for Georgetown, and just a privilege and an honor to be out here tonight with the Rouse crew, with you, Michael. Appreciate David England as well. I know Scott Mount normally on the color, but, you know, tonight he gets to watch the game. David is sitting in there, so thank you, Scott, for all that you do. But, man, I got to tell you, I've never been out here from this angle running camera tonight, and David had mentioned earlier, there's a different perspective out here when you're on this side running camera. One of the biggest things that I notice is, especially whenever Rouse or any pitcher for that matter brings the heat on the fastball, you can literally hear the wind behind the pitch, which is amazing. And then the echo of the aluminum bats really ricochets off of this metal fence here in Mumford, Texas. It is a beautiful sound to be right here. You just got to stay alert because those balls could fly right at you, and I don't want to head to the ER tonight, Michael.
No, sir. Absolutely not. Great to have Rob Hipp and David England and Nathan Height along with us tonight to bring you Rouse Raider baseball, and able to give Scott Mount a break.
Well,
so he can sit with his wife. He hasn't sat with her in quite a while, at least since the regular season. Jared Southard will get things started for the Raiders here in the fourth. Zane Russell back on the mound for Porter Spartans, and Southard pops this one off, and it's playable. Jace Russell over from first makes the catch, and that will do it. For Southard in the fourth.
I think everybody's just waiting with anticipation to see, who's going to break this game open and who's going to get, something going here. And it's just been kind of they're testing each other back and forth, little things here and there. But everybody's just waiting anxiously to see what's going to unfold.
Connor Bennett digs in from the right side. He's 0 for 1. He flew out to center. His first time up and takes for strike one. Lance Little on deck. The 0-1 delivery. This is chopped on and hit back over to second. Atkinson has it over to first in time. And these are the kind of outs that you don't want, are these quick outs. There's not much work and effort going towards it, so you're not making the pitcher get a lot of work. He's getting in here. He's able to kind of rest during this inning here by pitching a limited number of pitchers or pitches.
There's just been that one hit so far, and the defense, infield and outfield defense, is doing great for both teams.
Little takes for ball one. Lance Little digs in from the right side. Fisher Kingsbury on deck for the Raiders.
Michael, what a beautiful picture there that the Rob's got for us.
The 1-0, this is hit out toward left center. Westenberg over will make the catch, and that will do it for the Raiders. F8 on the fly out. The Raiders go in order, 1, 2, 3. No runs, no hits, nobody left on after 3.5. We're still scoreless here in Mumford. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports.
Isn't it amazing?
What?
The sacrifice, the dedication, the grit. I mean, they really set an example, don't they?
Oh, well, no question. Today's high school athletes are truly special.
Not the athletes.
Well, who?
The officials.
Oh.
Today's student athletes are truly special. But there's something pretty great about the men and women who officiate their games, too. Like the way they're giving back to their communities. Officiating is a terrific way to stay in shape, meet new people, and stay connected to the game you love. But the biggest reason of all? We need more qualified high school officials here in Texas. And without them, the rest of us would have a whole lot less to cheer about. High school games need officials. High school sports need you.
Great call, Rob!
Yeah!
Interested in becoming a licensed high school official? Go to highschoolofficials.com to learn more and begin the application process.
Don't miss the UIL Baseball State Tournament June 5th through the 8th. For more information, visit uiltexas.org.
Well, an interesting turn of events here is Jared Southard is put back on the mound. And As a starting pitcher, I guess he can do that. I've never heard of that before.
You know, Michael, he's been doing really well. He takes a strike there.
Jace Russell.
That was that fantastic curveball that just comes right down off to the right, and there's no way that batter can get to it.
Jace Russell digs in for Porter. He takes for strike one. Pitch misses low for ball one. That'll even the count.
I was surprised he took him out there. There's got to be a reason why he took him out. Maybe he wanted that combination of who that batter was and wanted to give him a different pitcher.
The 1-1. This is hit foul and goes out of play. Headed out toward Robb over in the bullpen area. I think he went a little deeper toward the batting cages. The 1-2, that's high and outside for 2 balls and 2 strikes. Southern picks up the sign for Kingsbury. He winds and delivers curveball. This was Russell was able to get a piece of it and fouls it off. Stays alive. Make him pitch, very short inning from Coach Yacht. Thanks for listening, Coach. Just fouled off, and Russell able to stay alive. It's hit off the gear of Kingsbury. Getting a win tonight from Matthew Sherman. Raider Nation. Come on, Raiders, let's get that W. Let's go, fellas. It's hit over to Bennett in the hole. The throw over to first in time, and that will do it for Russell here in the 4th. 6-3 on the putout. It was an impressive play by Connor Bennett as it was hit deep in the hole. Had a long throw over to Lance Little at first.
The lights are really taking over the ball field tonight. The sun has now set, and still some blue sky out there, but beautiful, beautiful evening. No wind to speak of. Temperatures are nice, and they're going to be dipping into the 70s towards the end of the game.
Seth Sherlock digs in. Swing and a miss, and he tried to check his swing.
Ref, I don't think was paying attention down there.
He wasn't paying attention.
Umpire was trying to get a hold of him. Call him on his cell phone. Wow.
Wow. He's drawing the ire. Even some of the Porter fans are even saying something about it.
These guys have a tough job, though. It's a lot to keep up with.
The 1-0, I think that might have been a makeup call right there. That'll even the count up 1-1 to Seth Sherlock. Swing and a miss for strike 2.
That batter wants that one back. He's disappointed in that one.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Southern winds and fires. Fastball down and away for ball 2. Two balls, 2 strikes to Seth Sherlock. Swing and a miss. Drop third strike, and Kingsbury will tag him out to complete the strikeout. 2 away for Colby Christian, the designated hitter. He's 1 for 1. With a single, and got as far as second base. No base runner for either team has gotten beyond second.
So is this the same pitcher we saw a little bit ago, or is this a different one?
This is the same one.
It's interesting. With 2 outs, he brings in a different pitcher on again.
Interesting, and that's where you if you're not as familiar with the rules on that you want to get in the playbook, because I've had some misunderstandings about certain things, when you get into district play and run rules and all that kind of stuff. One high school coach had explained to me several years ago that the run rule is only in effect in anything but district play. District, you're required to play the entire 7. Well, I find out later that's not the case, that run rule is in effect throughout the season. Even into the playoffs, there's run rules.
Yes, sir. Do you suppose it's like what you said earlier about the pitch count? He's trying to hold his pitch count just a little bit, get those important 2 first outs and see if his other pitcher can come in and help with that pitch count a little bit, get that last out?
It could be. It's a unique situation. I mean, something that maybe Rob can ask Coach Crimpine if he can interview him after the game about that strategy. Connor Bennett back in on relief as he faces Colby Christian. Christian takes for ball 1. The 1-0. This is popped up and playable. Bennett calls it, and that will do it. Infield fly back to the pitcher. The Spartans go in order, 1, 2, 3. No runs, no hits, nobody left on, and we're scoreless after 4 here in Mumford.
It's a 1-game series. This is it. How late do we stay, Michael? DQ closes, probably 10 or 11 o'clock, right?
Right, yeah, something like that. And then you got, Gateway the other day went into 10 innings.
Quite a few. I thought it was 13, something like that, or was it 10?
It went 10 innings.
I'm thinking about the Houston Astros Rangers score yesterday.
Right, and I think they won. Yeah, that was 15-5.
Yeah. I walked by. I was in the fire station. I walked by at one point. They were up 13 points. I was like, wow.
Gateway won that one 3-2, and we have
lost our video.
Or maybe Rob is moving the camera. Rob, I don't know if you can hear us. We've lost our video. All right, he's working things over there, so we may see something here in just a minute. We're having some technical difficulties.
Yep.
And we'll get those straightened out for you here in just a moment. But anyway, you can listen to the dulcet tones of myself and Captain England.
I've got a backpack over there with a couple of batteries on the side, a pouch there. That might be just a battery on the camcorder there. Rob?
Zane Russell back on to pitch the 5th for the Porter Spartans as he will face Fisher Kingsbury.
Well, I think it might have been the wireless transmitter because we're seeing a link connecting signal over here on our end, so that's good. We'll have video back here in just a few minutes.
Kingsbury takes for strike 1, or ball 1, I'm sorry. Dylan Lewis on deck for the Raiders. Russell winds and delivers. There's our feed, and we're back live. Two balls, no strikes to Fisher Kingsbury. Russell from the windup. He picks a sign up from Sherlock, the 2-0. That's down and away for ball 3. Russell has only given up 2 walks tonight. One to Dalton Porter, another to Jake Alepa. 3-0 count. Pitch misses.
Oh.
A delayed strike call. And that draws the ire of the Rouse faithful. Yeah, that was delayed by about 3 seconds. 3 balls, 1 strike to Kingsbury. Russell winds and delivers. Strike 2 call. And the count has now worked full.
Both those pitches were really low, maybe just a sinker or something. They were just coming, they're across the plate really low.
Payoff pitch. This is cut on. This is hit out to right. This will fall in for a base hit. Kingsbury with a leadoff single.
That's exactly what you're looking for because we have no outs and a man on first.
got our feedback. Nice video feed from Rob Hipp. Number 18, Ethan Moore, will courtesy run for the catcher. As Dylan Lewis comes to the plate.
Can you hear the FM?
Liner back to second. Or back to pitcher, I'm sorry, and the throw over to second. And that will get the leadoff runner. That will go 1-6 on the put out of Kingsbury, or Moore, as Lewis hits into the fielder's choice. That will bring up Jake Alepa. Alepa 0 for 0 with a walk as he takes for ball one. The 1-0 pitch from Russell, a fastball down the middle for a strike, and that'll even up the count, 1-1. Hayden Asbury on deck. One on with one out. The count, 1-1. The throw over to first, not in time, as Lewis dives back safely. Russell from the stretch, the 1-1 pitch. That's outside for ball two. And I'll tell you what, that's a pretty good looking pitch. I don't know if you've noticed more and this is something that Scott and I talk about, how these umpires now set more over between the batter and the catcher.
I noticed they've got that gap right
Swing
there.
and a miss for strike two.
I guess that's, kids are getting bigger.
It gives them maybe a little different perspective. In the past they would set up right over the catcher and look over his shoulder, right or left, depending on the batter.
Yeah. To me, it reminds me of watching.
Swing and a miss, and that will do it for Alepa. 2 away, and that will bring up Hayden Asbury. Asbury 0 for 1. He popped up to the catcher on a bunt. Ryan Galloway on deck.
We have 4 officials tonight for tonight's ball game.
Asbury takes for ball one. Russell has a sign. He looks Lewis over at first. Pitch, swing and a miss. And that will even the count, 1-1.
That base runner's just hanging there on first. Not really any attempts to steal. Seems like he's been out there for quite some time.
Throw over to first is just kind of just keep him there. Dylan Lewis at first. 1 on with 2 outs. We're still scoreless here in Mumford. The 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss, and actually the umpire said he got a piece of it. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Hayden Asbury. John Lewis, come on guys, you got to advance the runner with good bunts in low scoring games like this, and that's one of the things that Coach Crimpine gets frustrated about, when his hitters can't lay down bunts and pop them up in the air into pop-outs. The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, foul tip back into the glove. That's what the umpire said, and that will do it for the Raiders in the 4th. No runs on one hit, one left on. After 4.5, we're still scoreless here in Mumford.
We're going to listen to the sights and sounds tonight.
Listen to the sights and sounds. Well, we can mention Jared Southern's back out on the mound.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what you were talking about earlier, David. He comes out and gets 2 outs out of an inning, and Connor Bennett comes in and relieves him. Well, it's not necessarily relief. They're trading positions on the field, so maybe that's how it is he's not being pulled out of the game and brought back in.
Okay.
I think that's exactly what it is right there. So he's able to bring him back.
Some strategery.
Yeah, there you go. Little George Bushism there is some strategery.
We have the George Bush Library here in College Station, but this is a 5th inning stretch, Michael.
The 5th inning stretch here in Mumford.
It's neat to see the announcer playing the old tunes like that. It's pretty cool.
Umpire says 2 more pitches for Southern.
Outfield is 315 down the lines, and then the big wall in the center field is 370, and it seems to go up about 3 feet high. So if somebody can get over that wall, that's impressive.
Yeah, that'll be impressive. Southern will face the 7, 8, 9 hitters in the 5th. Jake Tatum, Aiden Hurd, and Connor Westenberg. Tatum was hit by a pitch and then was out on runner interference, running over Dylan Lewis as he was attempting to make a play. Swing and a miss for strike 1. The 0-1, that's in for a strike. Fastball gets that outside corner. And you probably look for the bender on this one, David. The 0-2.
Hey, there it is.
Curveball does it.
You're exactly right.
Catches him looking.
Well, the temperature's cooled off to 76 degrees. Wind southeast at 2 miles an hour. Humidity's going up a little bit, 60%, and dew point 61. So just a quiet evening here in Mumford.
Aiden Hurd stands in. He takes for ball 1. He's 0 for 1. He hit in the fielder's choice. And takes for ball 1. Two 2-0 the count to Hurd. Southern winds and fires a fastball. This is hit foul just over the Raider dugout. Watch out over there, Rob. It might be coming at you. Rob over in the hot corner down the first baseline. Bring Rob up.
Okay, he's up.
Yeah, you're up, Rob. You there?
Yeah, a little safe on that one. That was the first one that flew our way. Here that Nathan took a dive and it hit the mat right behind us. So this is normally the third is your hot corner. We're the hot corner over here tonight, Michael.
Right. 3-1 the count to Hurd. Swing and a miss for strike 2 as he chased a high fastball. And Southern works the count back full. Hurd batting 8th in the order. The right fielder. The payoff pitch, that's upstairs for ball 4. Southern issues his only his second walk of the evening. It's 1 on for Connor Westenberg. Westenberg 0 for 1. He struck out back in the second. One on with 1 out. Runner at first. Southern from the stretch. Pitch. That's fouled off, and hit and run was the call, and Hurd will turn around and head back to first.
We're about an hour and 25 minutes into this ball game. Bottom of the fifth. Scoreless.
Still scoreless. It's been a defensive ball game.
A hit for each ball club.
The throw over to first is just high. Had Sutter been on target, Hurd would have been out.
I think they're getting antsy to try and advance bases here. You're seeing a little bit more brave.
Trying to make something happen, and
he's going to talk it over with his batter there.
Coach Ralph calls time, and he wants to talk with Westenberg and make sure that they're on the same page on the signs, and trying to work some strategery here.
Yeah, you've got one out. You've got an 0-1 count, a man on first. Let's see if Rouse can just get out of this one. And
nothing in one, the count to Westenberg. Throw over to first.
There's a fake. The pitcher had the ball the whole time. Slick.
So they faked the throw to first, and
that first baseman took off running like he missed the ball, and that pitcher was running over there to first base, going to try and tag him.
It has worked for Rouse. Rouse has done that before and got the runner out.
I believe they did that to Georgetown.
Yeah, I believe that's right. I believe you may be right. The 0-1, this has popped up and hit foul, and Kingsbury not able to get to it in time. And that'll take Westenberg into an 0-2 count.
It's so fun to see those fakes like that, especially when they work. You know, it's just a little trickery, you know, the old-fashioned baseball, you know, it's just fun.
But everybody has to be on board with it. They've got to know what to do. So, you know, so you don't tip the play and try to make it work. 0-2, the count. To throw over to first will not be in time as Hurd dives back in safely.
Hurd is really having a literally, like you said, dive in, because if he doesn't get back, he's not going to make it back. So he's having to go head first back to first base at this point, because he's getting a little bit more of a leadoff now.
Well, there's three pitchers that have very, very good moves to first, and Jared Southard's one of them.
Yeah.
Fisher Kingsbury is the other, and Connor Bennett is the other.
Okay.
Those guys are tough to run on.
Yeah.
They have such a fast move to first.
You said he's throwing in the 90s, right? So he can probably get it over to first base.
It's a bunt. This is going to be thrown over to first in time, and that will get the out, and then the sacrifice bunt. The runner moved into scoring position. Southard looked over to second, but nobody was on the bag to make the play over, so he made the wise play. Get the second out.
Yes, and that's exactly right. You're now at 2 outs, and he didn't bring in the other pitcher. Let's see if he wants to get out of this inning, especially with that man on second base. He's probably going to keep his main pitcher in there.
Back to the top of the order, Brian Westenberg. He's 0 for 1 with a walk and a ground out to second. He takes for ball one.
You know, I guess there's consistency depending on the batter. That ump is still in the same spot, whether left or right, so there is consistency there.
The 1-0, that's right down the middle for strike one.
Yeah, no mistake in that one. You can see that behind the netting.
Well, the catcher sets off to the left, and Sutter throws it right down the middle.
Yeah, we saw that one coming from Bryan, downtown Bryan, Texas.
1-1 the count to Westenberg. Sutter from the stretch, the 1-1 pitch, a curveball. Misses low for ball 2.
I think Rob's enjoying himself out there. A little camera work, having fun. He's giving us a wave.
2 balls, 1 strike to Westenberg. Fastball gets the corner for strike 2.
New Caney Porter's not happy about that one. That was it's a very nice pitch. Deuces across the board, Michael.
Deuces wild for Westenberg with a runner at second. 2 outs. This is chopped on and hit over to third. Garcia has it to throw over to first in time, and that will do it. Raiders get out of the inning. No runs, no hits, 1 left on. After 5 complete, we're scoreless here in Mumford, David, and it's just beginning to be a pitcher's duel. Well, it's not beginning. It is a pitcher's duel.
Michael, if I will here just for a second, I'd like to send our thoughts and prayers out to the Central Texas Fire Service community. A Westlake firefighter was on the truck last week when he went home having difficulty breathing, and it turns out he was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer and wasn't expected to make it more than a few days. And this was on Friday. We received this email, and we received word this morning that he did pass away last night. It's Lieutenant Chris Askey, the Westlake Fire Department. So, folks, if you're listening out there, let's give some thoughts and prayers to the Westlake Fire Department and all of the fire departments in Central Texas. They're going to be involved in an active duty firefighter funeral sometime this week.
Lieutenant Askey family, keep them in your prayers. You'll need support during this tough time, and it never hurts to lift your voice to God in prayer. Zane Russell back out on the mound for the Spartans.
Still a little bit of light and some clouds from the setting sun. Beautiful sky tonight. It's turning a little navy. It's not quite blackout tonight. As Rob's panning around to this beautiful facilities here in Mumford, Texas, and Mumford Mustangs, home 2A program here in the Brazos Valley. Not too far away from Bomber Stadium we were at the other night for another game that was played.
Ryan Galloway will lead off the 6th for the Raiders. Russell facing the 9, 1, and 2 batters in this inning. Dalton Porter on deck. Pitch from Russell. That gets the outside corner for strike 1. Galloway caught looking back in the 3rd. He's 0 for 1. Russell winds, and the 0-1 delivery. That's a fastball down the middle for strike 2. And both of those pitches have been perfect strikes. I mean, they're right where you want them to be. Now you're going to get junk and trash, and you chase it, and that's what happens. He sets you up into an 0-2 and then throws junk, and you end up chasing it and striking out. I mean, you're getting down to the...
Yeah, that ball was high and outside. It's going to be very hard to hit that one.
Dalton Porter digs in from the left side. He takes for ball 1.
That was way too low on that one.
This has been a scoreless battle as Porter fouls this one back for strike 1. Jared Southern on deck for the Raiders. The 1-1 pitch. Porter takes for strike 2. That's the right call. It looked like a strike to me.
Yes, sir.
From my vantage point, we're sitting directly behind the plate.
Yeah, we couldn't have a better seat in the house.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Dalton Porter.
Wow.
Swing and a miss.
That ball just seems to lob in there and just sink.
He dropped a curveball in on Porter, and that will do it for Porter. Back-to-back strikeouts. Jared Southern comes to the plate. Southern 0 for 2. He's flown out to left and popped up into foul territory down the first base line. 1-0 the count to Southern. Russell winds and delivers the 1-0 in the dirt for ball 2.
You can see the little rubber flakes pop up on it in the turf.
Right, yeah, I keep saying in the dirt, but it's actually into the turf. It is a turf surface all except the pitching mound.
Oh.
Southard lays off, and he takes for ball 3. He checks his swing, and they appeal down the first base side, and he says no. He held up. 3-0 the count to Southard. That's ball 4, and Southard will trot down to first.
It's good to see.
Now batting number 22.
Raiders have one on with 2 outs, and that's the 3rd walk given up by Russell.
Substitute runner.
Courtesy runner.
Courtesy runner.
And I'm not sure what. I need to see his number. I didn't see who it was. Coach Yacht urging the Raiders on. Come on, Raiders. We need something going here. Bennett takes for ball 1. Bennett fouls this one back out of play, and that'll even the count up 1-1. Lance Little on deck. Still missing the number. Throw over to first, not in time. They thought he had him. That was close. Russell from the stretch. The 1-1 delivery. That drops in for strike 2. Courtesy runner Zach Miller.
Oh, he was lucky that first baseman couldn't hold on to that from the
that was
he was not back in time.
He was looking to apply the tag and turned his head away from it.
Yeah.
And
Lucky
it popped out of his glove, and Zach Miller, extremely lucky he didn't get picked off because he was in no man's land. To throw over to first again, and Miller's back safely.
You kind of wonder if the catcher didn't give him a signal and say, hey, go to first.
He probably did.
Yeah.
From the stretch, the 1-2, that's hit back up the middle. The throw over to first will be in time as Westenberg makes the throw over. 6-3 on the putout. That will do it for the Raiders. In the 6th, no runs, no hits. 1 left on after 5.5.
Yeah, we're moving into the bottom of the 6th. Baby Shark.
Oh, yeah, well, it's not one of my favorites right there. I think we'll take a music break on that one. Due up, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters. Sutter working through the heart of the order. This is hit up the middle into the right center gap. Alepa has it, throws over, and Diaz will be in with a stand-up double. And that's the power that he was swinging with, and he hit it right out into the gap. And you couldn't ask for better placement.
His last 2 at-bats, one of his family members has been over here encouraging him. She's been videoing his at-bat, so I'm sure they're excited to see that.
0 for 2, 1 on, runner at second with no outs. And interesting to see how Rouse plays it. You probably can expect to see a bunt here from Zane Russell. He's 0 for 2 with strikeouts. So Coach Crimpine calling the strategy. Bennett giving signs. Sutter from the stretch. The pitch, fastball.
Very nice.
Cut on and missed for strike 1.
That was a pretty fast old pitch there.
Sutter comes set. Fastball fouled off for strike 2.
That's a good count for Rouse. He's got the outfield moving just a little bit there, making some adjustments as the coach, Crimpine.
It may just take 1 run to win this ball game. The 0-2. This is hit out toward right and falls in for a base hit. Lepa keeps it in front of him, and that puts runners on the corners. Back-to-back hits, and Southern facing the heart of the order.
I wish we knew what the pitch count was right now.
Courtesy runner for the pitcher, number 12, Carter Crochet. Ant Kindlin. We need the voodoo baseball.
Yeah.
Please go to work. Please go to work. Jace Russell comes to the plate, and I've got this mosquito. Mosquitoes buzzing around my face.
They are getting it tonight.
Runners on the corners with no outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Southern deals. This one's fouled off. Hit and run was the call, and Carter Crochet will trot back to first.
You can anticipate that base runner on first. You know he's going to want to steal second. Because they got back there.
And an errant throw from Southern allows the run to score.
So the runner steals first. Pitcher throws, and he looked like he was attempting to throw to the second baseman. The second baseman wasn't in place, and that allowed the base runner to advance to third and a score run.
Well, what it was, that play was designed to throw to second and catch the guy going home.
Okay.
And Southern threw it over his head into center field, and
we're going to take a break here. And
Jace Russell even in the count at 1-1.
Rob, is there any activity over there in the bullpen for Rouse? Wondering if there's any activity in the bullpen over in Rouse?
David, no activity over here. We haven't seen any activity all night. The only activity out here right now, monster mosquitoes. I'm getting bit about every 15 seconds right now, man.
Same here.
That is the only activity out here in the bullpen right now.
Okay, thank you, Rob.
One and one the count to Jace Russell. Pitch from Jared Southard misses low and in for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike to Russell. Crochet at third, the 2-1 pitch. Misses outside, and count goes to 3-1.
Coach Krimpine has his infield up to the grass. His outfield still looks fairly deep.
1 on with no outs here in the bottom of the 6th.
Nice.
Russell chases for strike 2. Seth Sherlock on deck. Full count. Russell 0 for 2. As the pitch misses for ball 4. And Porter has put 3 straight base runners on.
It's going to be a substitution here.
In this inning.
Number 10 coming in to run for New Caney Porter.
This will be a pinch runner for the first baseman.
Now batting number 5, Seth Sherlock.
And I want to say that was number 10, Caleb Evans Pickens. Runners again on the corners for the Spartans with no outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Southern from the stretch. He'll pull the yo-yo and look the runners back and reset. Seth Sherlock digs in from the right side as he takes for strike 1. Sherlock 0 for 2. He has struck out both times. Southern looking to complete the hat trick with him. Swing and a miss.
That's very heads-up smart play for that catcher not to toss it down to second base as the runner advances to second.
2 runners in scoring position. Runners at second and third. Seth Sherlock down in the count, 0-2. The 0-2 just misses the outside corner. For ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Seth Sherlock. The 1-2 pitch, that's cut on and popped up, and this is going to fall in. This will score another run. And that was a Texas leaguer hit out into no man's land. Nothing you can really do about that. And that will score another run, and Porter takes a 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the 6th.
Mr. Knight joining us on the stream. He says, Giant Mosquitoes. Meanwhile, the Sugarland Skeeters stream stopped again, sudden, which it's on a different network. So he stumbled across this stream. Welcome aboard, Mr. Knight.
Glad to have you.
We're in Mumford, Texas. Watching Leander Rouse out of Central Texas versus New Caney Porter.
Number 18, Chase McMillan. Courtesy running for the catcher. 0-1 becomes an 0-2, and Christian down in the count, 0-2. A throw over to first, just kind of a lob. It forces McMillan back. The 0-2 pitch. Defensive indifference will allow McMillan to advance to second. Runners at second and third with no outs. 1-2 the count to Christian. This is fouled off and hit down the first base side.
Fixing up Rob with some communications ability there.
1-2 the count to Colby Christian. The 1-2 pitch, that's fouled back out of play. Kingsbury gives the sign. Southern comes set. The 1-2 delivery, curveball up high.
No, I don't mean to laugh on the broadcast, but the shortstop out there, I was like, what is he doing? Oh, he's swatting mosquitoes out there on the field, too. He's used his glove. And
yeah, when we say mosquitoes, folks, I mean,
yeah,
they're all around us.
Goodness gracious. And
they're drawn to carbon dioxide, so when you breathe in and out, that's what they're attracted to.
So I need to stop talking as much.
2-2 pitch, fouled back out of play.
The announcer today got everybody laughing before the game started. He said they just broke a record here in the Brazos Valley. They've had 24 hours with no rain.
The 2-2 pitch to Christian. He takes for strike three call.
Very nice.
Going to be one away, and Coach Crimpine is seen enough. He's going to come out and talk to his infield. We'll see if there's going to be a pitching change. The Southern will go to right field.
Looks like the bullpen was empty there.
Connor Bennett will come in to pitch, and Ryan Galloway will move over to short. Jake Alepa will probably move to left, and Porter to center field.
I've got Rob. He's motioning for an update down there. What do you got, Rob?
Just a little heads up, there is some action in the bullpen over here. I've got the camera on it, so just wanted to alert you guys to that. There's a little bit of action now over here in the bullpen.
Number 7, Mason Bowers, getting loose. Bowers, a lefty.
It's a really nice, I know we keep saying it's like a broken record, but just what an incredible facility. The bullpen is right there next to the dugout. Very convenient for each ball club for between communications and just logistics and all that stuff, being able to have a really nice experience down here in Mumford. I've lots of ball games played down here. It's all turf field. It makes sense having an all turf field in the Brazos Valley with all the rain. It's just you almost have to have this type of facility in this area in the Brazos Valley.
Well, it's a beautiful drive down here, kind of reminiscent of East Texas. You start seeing some of the piney woods and a lot of pine trees working over from Bastrop to Mumford.
The skies are now blacked out. We have
got a crescent, not quite a crescent moon, but a half moon.
Right above third base, I'd say.
Right.
From where we're sitting.
Connor Bennett comes on in relief, and he will face Jake Tatum. Tatum 0 for 1. He was hit by a pitch and struck out. Caught looking. He takes for ball 1.
A little bit outside there.
So the momentum in this game has obviously shifted towards Porter. But it'll be interesting to see if Rouse can. There's one of those benders that you talk about, David, that just stay up there and then just drop. And the bottom drops out. In for a called strike, and the count goes to 1-1 for Jake Tatum.
I don't know if you noticed that. You could hear a pin drop before that ball hit the catcher's glove. This place felt quiet all of a sudden.
The 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss from Tatum for strike 2.
It's a good situation for Rouse now. Let's get this batter out, make it 2 outs, and
the 1-2 delivery. It's in for strike 3 call. And Tatum caught looking back to back. And that will bring up the number 8 hitter, Aiden Hurd.
Now batting number 3, Aiden Hurd.
Hurd hit into a fielder's choice and drew a walk back in the 5th.
He's real close to that home plate.
Fisher Kingsbury stretches out to make that catch. Hurd takes for ball 1. The 1-0 curveball in for a strike.
There it is again. But it comes in looking like it's going to be 6 foot high. It drops about a foot off the turf.
Well, it's
impressive.
He's got a beautiful curveball. When it's on, it's on.
It is on tonight. Maybe it hit a couple of mosquitoes on the way in.
Reminiscent of Devin Hooper's curveball. Wow. Wow.
Okay. That was more of a fastball straight in there. It just probably caught that.
Right.
It looked like it caught that outside corner.
It did catch the outside corner, but he said it was outside.
Yes.
So the human element always takes place in the game. This is cut on and hit foul for strike 2. Count evens at 2. Deuces wild for Aiden Hurd. Runners at second and third. Porter leading this one 2-0 here in the bottom of the 6th. Connor Bennett on the mound for the Raiders. Kingsbury sets up. Pitch. This is hit out to right field, and Jared Southern boots it, throws over to second, and they'll get him, but the run will score. 2 runs will score.
Yeah, that Southern unfortunately bobbled it. He got it in his glove and then dropped it and was a little late on that throw to second base, Michael. And the New Caney crowd coming alive as they're up 4-0 now.
Well, the Raiders have their work cut out for them. It's not an insurmountable task, but Zane Russell has been solid through 6 innings of work.
To the top of the 7th?
To the top of the 7th, and Russell has never seen more than 4 batters in an inning.
Okay. You don't suppose stepping out for those few batters messed with Southern's rhythm any at all, and
I don't think that it did. I don't think that it did, because he came back in those innings and pitched solid in those innings, and then started this inning all out on his own, and it just he faced Max Diaz to start the inning, and he got that stand-up double off of him, and from there it just kind of just fell apart.
And I was thinking right before that ball got hit out there, they don't want to hit to him out there in the outfield, because he's going to throw it in at about 94 miles an hour, but he just fumbled it there just a little bit. And, that's unfortunate for Rouse. It would have been probably 3-0 instead of 4-0. But
well, he does have a gun. He's thrown people out at home from deep right field.
Yeah. But you know what? Rouse has an opportunity. You never know. This is the top of the 7th. They could get men on base here and come right back.
Just as it turned for Jared Southern in that top half of the 6th, or bottom half of the 6th, it can turn for Zane Russell here in the top of the 7th.
Just like that, it sure can.
Lance Little will get things started. He takes for strike 1, a pitch down and away, but gets the strike call. 0-1 the count to Little. He takes for strike 2, and there's no doubt about that one. That one was right down the middle. It had a nice little curve to it, not fast enough to really be considered a slider. The 0-2, that misses outside for ball 1, and which we've seen that exact pitch being called for a strike.
Yes, sir. Kathleen Forzel chiming in. You've got it, Raiders. You can do this.
Kathleen Forcell, our new vice president of the Booster Club. Thanks for listening in. Glad to have you. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Lance Little. Fisher Kingsbury on deck. The 2-2 pitch. This is popped up and fouled back out of play. And the count remains 2-2. Need some excitement here to rally the Rouse faithful, get back in this game. The 2-2 pitch. This is cut on and hit foul out of play down the first base side.
If there was a ball girl, she would have had it.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Zane Russell from the stretch. Pitch. Strike 3. And that will do it for Lance Little. Raiders down to their final 2 outs for Fisher Kingsbury. Kingsbury with a single. His last at bat. Ethan Moore caught in the fielder's choice and the liner back to Russell. Thrown out at second base. Pitch outside for ball 1. One ball, no strike. Pitch high and outside for ball 2. Zane Russell having a solid performance for Porter. Kingsbury hits this one out to center. Westenberg over will make the catch, and that will do it. Raiders down to their final out. And the hopes of the Raiders season lay on Dylan Lewis. Well, I'm not going to say that. I wouldn't place that kind of weight on anybody. But being able to extend the game with Dylan Lewis at the bat with 2 outs. He takes for ball 1, a pitch high and outside. The 1-0 delivery, a swing and a miss for strike 1, and Raiders down to their final 2 strikes. Jake Alepa on deck. 1-1, that's high for ball 2. Russell hoping to get a complete game shutout. Lewis takes for ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike to Dylan Lewis. Nobody on. Lewis takes for strike 2, and the count goes full. And it could all come down to this pitch. Payoff pitch, that's fouled off and out of play as Lewis stays alive. Full count. With payoff pitch, this is fouled off and back out of play. Lewis extending his at bat. You got to wonder where Russell is in his pitch count. Swing and a miss, and that'll do it. Raiders go in order in the 7th. Zane Russell pitches a complete game shutout of the Rouse Raiders to pick up the area championship. Raiders, unfortunately, this weather-delayed game only allows them to get that one game in, so there's no best of 3 in this, and which was originally supposed to be a best of 3, and we were supposed to play Friday and Saturday. Actually, I think Thursday and Friday and Saturday is what the scheduled games were, and the rain delays and threats of rain pushed those back and got to Saturday, and they said no place was available, and they couldn't get the game in on Saturday, and we ended up playing a one-game playoff tonight, and unfortunately the cards don't fall towards the Raiders' direction, and they were bested by the Porter Spartans tonight as the Porter Spartans become the area champions, and we'll move on and we'll face Georgetown later this week.
And your hats off to a really good Leander Rouse ball club. They've had an amazing season this year, reaching the second round of playoffs and attained the rank of 9 in the state of Texas. So, heartfelt for those seniors on this team. It's a hard way to go out, just with the weather, unfortunately, like you said, Michael, playing such a big factor this last week. We need the rain, but Leander Rouse did not need the rain this week. They needed to play a 2-game series. So Coach Pimpine gathering the troops over there, talking to them behind first base.
Yeah, I talked with him before the game, and he wasn't happy about how things happened and with the weather delays and all that, because it put them at a disadvantage. Well, it put both teams at a disadvantage, because now this pitcher is not going to be available till probably Saturday.
Okay.
Before he can pitch again.
Okay.
He's limited to a certain number of pitches in a week, and he may be done for the week.
Yeah.
So it depends on the amount of days rest that he can actually get and what the pitching limits are for Texas high school baseball in the playoffs. I don't think they change. And there's Rob Hipp on the camera, and if y'all ever wondered what we look like, here we go, folks.
Yeah.
I'm Michael Francis. This is David England and Nathan Height over here to my right. He helps to set up and produce for SHN Sports and their productions. Hats off to our seniors tonight. This was their last high school game, and they'll move on to their future endeavors, and there'll be some wet eyes after this game tonight. They were hoping to go deeper into the playoffs and get to play Georgetown again. That's the one target that they were really looking for.
Yeah.
With this disappointing loss here tonight.
It's going to be fun to watch these young student athletes as they go on. Some of them will go on and play college ball, and it's fun to keep up with those youngsters and as they go on and play. And my daughter's at Georgetown. Give a shout out to Emily back home listening in, and she's our reporter for Fanstand ATX. But getting to see all these young kids, they just really they do so well in high school, and then get to see them go and play college ball is a treat. So
it really is. You get the opportunity to work with these kids and call their games, and it's not necessarily it's about the rivalries, but it's about the game and it's about the players, and so I've worked Georgetown games and other games throughout the district, calling for other teams, and you call it fair and try not to be as biased, and so it's fair for both sides, because these are just kids playing, and you always want to give them the best. Yes. And you want to make sure it's the best experience that they can have, because they're going to come back to this down the road, and they're going to say, hey, I want to show you a game that I played in, and I had this exceptional, outstanding game, and just really tremendous. And, Rob, you can attest to this as you've called numerous games for Georgetown over the years and seeing these young men play.
Yeah, and, special shout-out to these Rouse kids, especially the departing seniors. Michael, you've been with these kids for so long, and just things didn't fall their way tonight, but hats off to a very fine Porter team. And, again, the hospitality here in Mumford was unbelievable, but your hearts go off and your hats go off to Rouse tonight, as it will be the final time. Some of these seniors will take a baseball field, not in the way that they wanted. We appreciate Coach Krempine and just the Rouse family. We call ourselves the SHN family here, Michael, but we really got to talk about the Rouse family and the great things that happen at Rouse and throughout Leander ISD, and so honored and blessed to be just a small part of that, to be able to bring these broadcasts to those friends and fine people out there. And you've done a great job, and want to thank you big time, and Scott Mount and all the folks associated with Rouse Baseball. Thank you guys for what you do. We wouldn't be here without you, Michael.
Man, it's a privilege and a pleasure to have gotten to work with these guys over the past couple of years that we've gotten to know SHN Sports and work with them exclusively, and we look to continue that partnership for years to come. You feel for these guys. Jared Southard, that'll be his final career game with the Raiders. I watched him come up as a freshman. He was a starting varsity player as a freshman, and one of the few that actually played as a freshman. Dalton Porter, another one that came on board as a freshman, and he will continue. He has another year with the Raiders. So we look down the road. These guys, and we graduated a class of 16 last year, so we lost 16 seniors last year.
Yeah.
This year, I think the number is 10. So it's not as impactful as what the last year's class was, but these other underclassmen got this experience, got to be in the playoffs, and got a taste of this, and so we look forward to their experience coming back next year. And my hat's off to them. My hat's off to Coach Krempine and every one of these guys. They never quit. They played with heart throughout the season. They had some tough goes in the regular season, but when district came on board, everything just seemed to come together for the Raiders, and they go undefeated through district and mirrored Georgetown in a lot of ways, as they went undefeated through their district as well, and outscored their opposition by a large number. So, great achievements by the Rouse Raiders this year, and my hat's off to them and all that they've done. Guys, it's been a privilege to call you games. I look forward to what you will do in your career as you move forward and whatever endeavors you pursue, whether it's at the college level or you go on to work or whatever you do. I look forward to hear back from your achievements. You guys have been great, and I've enjoyed calling you games all throughout your high school career as a varsity player, and look forward to your underclassmen and getting to call them moving forward. So just want to thank all you fine folks, friends, family tuning in tonight and listening to this broadcast of SHN Sports. It's been great bringing it to you. We want to thank you for tuning in and listening, and hope you've enjoyed listening to Rouse Raider Baseball for the 2019 season.
Safe travels, everybody, going back to Leander and New Caney, and it's been a beautiful night for baseball. Unfortunately, not the outcome we're looking for. But, Michael, thank you very much for letting me step in and assist you with the broadcast. And
great to have you, David. For Rob Hipp, Nathan Height, David England, this is Michael Francis saying good night and God bless. We wish you all the best. You've been listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. We'll see you next year. Good night, everybody.
The proceeding was a presentation of the SHNSports.com broadcast network. This broadcast was under the direction and copywritten by the Shoning Hip Network. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, use of sound bites and interviews, and use of any other content, including audio or video, without the direct written consent and permission by the Shoning Hip Network is strictly prohibited and protected by federal copyright law. All rights are reserved by the Shoning Hip Network and SHNSports.com. On behalf of Rob Hipp, Director of Operations, Carl Shoning, Director of Broadcasting, Mike Katz, the SHN Broadcast Academy Director, and all of our crews who make these broadcasts possible, we wish you well and thanks